What's going on? Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. Whoa, nose ring's about to fall on my nose. Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. Again, here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. I got some news articles I found interesting to read from today. A lot more in general it has to do with technology, it seems like today. So let's go right on into it, right? So the SEC just approved the closest thing to a U.S. Bitcoin ETF you can buy for now. The U.S. SEC has approved an ETF that tracks stocks with significant exposure to Bitcoin. These firms hold a majority of their net assets in Bitcoin or derive a majority of their profit or revenue from Bitcoin-related activities. The activity-managed fund Volt Crypto Industry Revolution and a tech ETF was approved on October 5th. A new exchange-traded fund may be as close as investors can get to having a U.S. Bitcoin ETF, at least for now. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has approved Volt Equities ETF, which aims to track companies that hold a majority of their net assets in Bitcoin or derive a majority of their profit or revenue from Bitcoin-related activities like mining, lending, or manufacturing mining equipment. Tad Pak, CEO of the fund, told Insider. He calls these Bitcoin Revolution companies. He's calling on Bitcoin Revolution companies and is eyeing MicroStrategy, Marathon Digital Holdings, and Bitfarms, among others, for the actively managed fund. Volt Crypto Industry Revolution, a tech ETF, was approved on October 5th and will trade under the ticker BTCR. The news was first reported by New York Times Dealbook. Pak told Insider he hopes to go public in the New York Stock Exchange in the next 3 weeks. I'm a strong believer in Bitcoin and excited about launching an ETF that could take advantage of the coming Bitcoin revolution, he told Insider. We can get exposure to Bitcoin without necessarily holding the coin, especially with option positions. This roundabout investing strategy is necessary because the SEC under Chair Gary Gensler has been putting off approving Bitcoin ETFs, with nearly 2 dozens stuck in limbo amid fears of potential for market manipulation. The U.S. thus far has not approved a single one yet, though Gensler did recently note that he is more open to a Bitcoin futures ETF. In Canada, however, Bitcoin ETFs are available right now. As a result, the Volt ETF will not directly invest in Bitcoin. Instead, it looks to put at least 80% of its net assets in Bitcoin Revolution companies, options, and ETFs with exposure to these companies. The rest is expected to gain broad equity market exposure to offset the risk of the portfolio. The ETF will also look at indicators such as the stock-to-flow model, which evaluates the current stock of Bitcoin against the flow of new Bitcoin mined that year. Pak said that this is the first ETF that is Bitcoin focused compared to others that invest in a broader range of digital assets. It seems like it's not a big deal, but no one's ever done that before, he told Insider. The fund is the 5th ETF that the San Francisco-based investment advisor has launched, but Pak said it was by far the hardest, noting repeated back and forth with the SEC. While the reason for the numerous delays is unclear, Pak speculated it had something to do with the fund's initial name, which was Volt Bitcoin Revolution ETF. It was very difficult to get this through, but we were really glad that they finally approved it, he said. So the SEC just approved the closest thing to a U.S. Bitcoin ETF that you can buy for now. So I'm going to spin up this next article. Yeah, again, if you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. And let's go right on to this next article here. So this is from Cointelegraph from Brian Quarmby. Arcane Research predicts 700 million Lightning Network users by 2030. Arcane Research says that Lightning Network usage has been on a steep upward trajectory since late last year, but in September, growth went parabolic off the back of El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. The research unit of Arcane Crypto predicts the Lightning Network will go parabolic as adoption of the Bitcoin Layer 2 payment protocol ramps up over the decade. Arcane Research published the State of Lightning report on Tuesday and analyzed the Lightning Network in terms of current capacity, wallet payment volume, the growing rate of adoption, and switch from online services to everyday usage. The report provides ambitious estimates for the future of the Lightning Network, such as 90% of Salvadorians over the age of 15 having access to Lightning payments by 2026, and 50 million Lightning users representing $17 billion in annualized payments for things like remittances and household expenditures by 2030. Arcane sees gaming and streaming video and audio as a major use case for Lightning, with streaming companies such as Spotify or Netflix able to utilize the network for microtransactions to offer pay per minute or pay per second streaming services, representing an enormous chance to onboard new Lightning users. It forecasts 700 million users in these categories by 2030, using an estimate of 1 hour per day on these services, and 25% of the time spent on those with Lightning payments. Arcane assumes there will be no microtransaction per second. Our estimate then equals no less than 364 trillion Lightning transactions per second, the report says. The research was conducted in a collaboration with Bitcoin payments company OpenNode and highlights how the usage of the Lightning Network has sharply increased since last year. El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin on September 7th propelled the network ever further. In September 2021, growth went parabolic. This was driven mainly by the introduction of Bitcoin as legal tender in El Salvador. The report also highlights the significance of peer-to-peer crypto exchange Paxful enabling Lightning payments to its user base of 7 million last month, as well as Twitter's integration with the network by launching a BTC tipping service for its 186 million users. The current capacity since Lightning went live on Bitcoin nearly 3 years ago, the network has grown to hold a capacity of almost 3,000 Bitcoin, with 17,000 nodes operating on the network and 73,700 unique channels. As of writing, the Bitcoin capacity on Lightning equals more than 120 million, with users across the world finding value in the option to conduct near-instant small payments at very negligible fees, the report says. But while publicly available metrics such as total channel capacity show rapid growth in adoption, wallet payment volumes have far outperformed that metric since August. Hold on. I had to check one thing on the monitor. We have focused on mainstream usage through wallet providers as we believe this is the best measuring for risk of adoption. Therefore, the estimated numbers do not contain the activity from developers, channel rebalancing, most B2B transactions, etc. The report reads. According to Arcane, wallet payment volume has increased by 20% month over month since August, which far exceeds the monthly growth rate of 10% from the metric of channel capacity. In September, the discrepancy widened further, with payment volume almost doubling compared to a 26% increase in public channel capacity, the report reads. So the report predicts that if other countries with poor banking access can follow the suit of El Salvador, there could be 50 million Lightning users who would represent $17 billion in annualized payment volume on the network by 2030. So that's the main point here is, more analytic and scientific data research into adoption, more so of Bitcoin through the Bitcoin Lightning Network. All right, I'm going to spin up this next article and keep this going through. Let's go. So again, I did have some crypto-based articles and blockchain-based articles. The next one coming up is from CNBC. Want to study crypto top 20 universities for blockchain CoinDesk. So this is if you want to study cryptos. There's some universities here in research about which universities are going into blockchain technology. Let's go. This is via CNBC in the Make It section of Next Gen Investing from Taylor Locke. Want to study crypto? These are the top 20 universities for blockchain according to CoinDesk. So this year, investing in crypto has become much more mainstream. Between interest in digital coins from Bitcoin to altcoins like Dogecoin, decentralized finance, or DeFi applications, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, and other blockchain technology, the market has surged. While many of the most in-demand jobs in cryptocurrency don't necessarily require a formal education in it, many global universities have started offering opportunities to study it. In fact, crypto news outlet CoinDesk recently published a ranking of the top 50 universities for blockchain. Researchers from CoinDesk, Stanford University, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) analyzed 230 schools across the world and ranked them according to 5 factors. So you can read a full methodology here. So again, I'll have all of these article links in the description box below on the recaps on YouTube and Twitch. So go on the 5 factors of scholarly impact, including the number of blockchain and cryptocurrency-related research papers published between 2019 and 2021, existing blockchain-related offerings on campus, including classes, educational centers, clubs, and more, employment and industry outcomes, the cost of attendance, and overall academic reputation. The National University of Singapore ranked first, with Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology in second, University of California, Berkeley in third, University of Zurich in fourth, and MIT in fifth. Of the top 50 schools, 13 are located in the U.S., including Arizona State University on 30th and New York University in the 41st. Last year, CoinDesk only ranked U.S.-based schools, putting Cornell University in second, Stanford University in fourth, and Harvard University in fifth. With the global rankings, all 3 schools dropped spots, landing at 17th, 12th, and 49th, respectively. So the top 20 universities for blockchain, according to CoinDesk, the first is National University of Singapore, Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, the University of California, Berkeley, University of Zurich, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, University College of London, UCL, Tsinghua University, Chinese University of Hong Kong, ETH Zurich, Nanyang Technological University of Singapore, the Stanford University, UNSW Sydney, City University of Hong Kong, University of Oxford, Shanghai Jiao Tong University, Cornell University, Delft University of Technology, the University of Hong Kong, and the University of Sydney. So you can take a look at the full list on CoinDesk directly on this link as well. But yeah, there's want to study crypto. There's some that's a drop it like it's top 20 universities for blockchain according to CoinDesk right there. Yeah, tongue twisting and mixing words up. Let's go into the next article here. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to blockchain, tech, and finance news. I'll be spinning up these articles every day at best during the week, except for the weekends. Unless the news is very important, I'll go live and read the news on the weekend. Most definitely. All right. Tech part from BBC News, the tech part of BBC News from Joe Tidy and Dave. Twitch confirms massive data breach. So the gaming streaming platform Twitch has been the risk of a leak reportedly divulging confidential information in streamers' earnings. More than 100 gigabytes of data was posted online on Wednesday. The documents appear to show Twitch's top streamers each made millions of dollars from the Amazon-owned company in the past 2 years. Twitch confirmed the breach and said it was working with urgency to understand the extent of it. In a statement posted on Twitter, the company said it would update the community as soon as additional information is available. Fortnite streamer BBG Calc told BBC News the earnings list got my figure 100% correct. Another streamer confirmed to the BBC that their earnings were accurate, while a third person closely linked to a high-profile player said the details were about right. Those behind the leak also claimed to have the source code for the video platform itself. So top earners, the documents shared in the online forums appear to show payments made from August or September 2019 to October 2021. Some versions shared online point to well-known streamers, including Dungeons and Dragons channel Critical Role, Canadian XQC, and American Summit 1G as being among the top earners. So Twitch famously fiercely guards operational details as much as its streamers are paid. So this looks extremely embarrassing for the company, and it comes out at a time when competitors such as YouTube Gaming are offering huge salaries to snap up gaming talent. So fallout could be significant. Aside from the salary details, the documents seem to contain the site's source code and even technical details for yet to be released products and platforms. The evidence is building at least some of the data. Looks real. Security experts tell me the files contains things such as internal server details that can be accessed by Twitch employees only. And if it is all confirmed, it will be the biggest leak I have ever seen. An entire company's most valuable data cleaned out in one fell swoop. But the list of payments apparently from Twitch itself is unlikely to include sponsorship deals and other platform activities or account for tax paid on income. And many, if not all, of these top streamers are effectively large-scale media operations with their own employees and business expenses. So the numbers do not represent take-home pay for those listed, even if genuine. So the documents also reportedly contain a trove of internal Twitch data. Metadata being posted onto internet forums appears to show folders of data named after important software areas, including core config packages, dev tools and developer tools, infosec, information security. Documents also allegedly contain source code for Twitch's website and related services, labeled Part 1, suggesting there may be more unreleased material. In the earliest known online post linking to the data, the anonymous poster labeled the Twitch community a disgusting toxic sex pool and claimed the leak was being posted to foster disruption and competition in video streaming. In the recent months, Twitch has been battling a number of issues on its platform, such as hate raids, organized harassment of streamers from minority groups, and in early September, a boycott titled A Day Off, Twitch saw creators effectively strike and protest at the lack of action on hate raids. The UK's Information Commissioner's Office said it had not been notified of any data breach on Twitch or Amazon. So yeah, that's a data breach on Twitch side. Would have known. All right, let's spin up this next article here. We've got 4 more articles here within Tech and Finance to read from. Ads, and ads. Not now. Skip this. CIA creates new mission center focused on China and technology. This is from CBS News by Olivia Gaziz. The CIA Director William Burns announced a series of organizational changes intended to hone the agency's focus on key national security challenges, including the launch of 2 mission centers, one focused on China and the other dedicated to transnational and technological threats. The China Mission Center will further strengthen our collective work on the most important geopolitical threat we face in the 21st century, an increasingly adversarial Chinese government, Burns said in a statement on Thursday. The Transnational and Technology Mission Center will focus on foreign technological and development alongside issues like climate change and global health, the CIA said in a press release detailing the changes. Apart from new mission centers, the agency will also establish a new chief technology officer position and launch a technology fellows program to bring in specialized talent, and also said that its recruitment and onboarding process will be significantly streamlined. The reorganize is based on 4 reviews Burns initiated soon after taking office. Throughout our history, the CIA has stepped up to meet whatever challenges come our way, Burns said, and now facing our toughest geopolitical test in a new era of great power rivalry. The CIA will be at the forefront of this effort. There's no doubt we have the talent for the job, he said, and with the right approach and the right structure in place, I know help will help ensure American leadership and American success in the global stage for decades to come. Burns has consistently identified China as an unparalleled challenger and vowed to bring an intensified focus on competition with Beijing at his February confirmation hearing. President Biden had said the U.S. while not seeking a new Cold War, will confront China's military, economic, and technological ambitions and seek to counter its autocratic influence. The bipartisan report issued last year by House Intelligence Committee and said China's technological advances in particular threaten to erode the U.S.'s advantage, and it urged intelligence agencies to immediately realign resources dedicated to competition with Beijing. I think Director Burns made exactly the right set of moves here, said Michael Morrell, who served as the agency's deputy director and is CBS senior national security contributor. They sharpened the existing focus on China and create a new focus on technology. Of the two, Morrell said technology is the biggest area for growth because it's evolving the fastest and because the agency has a long way to go. He said the CIA would only need to better understand foreign technology developments, but also to use emerging technologies to enhance its own operational and analytical missions, all while protecting itself from advances used by adversaries to undercut U.S. intelligence efforts. The current and former intelligence officials have acknowledged that the new technologies have profoundly complicated the works of American spy agencies, whose operatives must now contend with near ubiquitous surveillance, increasingly sophisticated facial recognition and biometric tracking tools, and advances fueled by artificial intelligence and machine learning. Key challengers like Russia and China have aggressively used new technologies to undermine intelligence operations worldwide, including by identifying and tracking intelligence officers and their assets. Last month, CIA Deputy Director David Cohen said at the annual Intelligence and National Security Alliance Summit that the agency was also grappling with obstacles posed by ubiquitous surveillance. That is a problem that we confront and our colleagues confront in many places around the world, Cohen said, calling it an enormous challenge. The answer to that is not to pretend we can roll back the clock 30 years, he said. We are frankly embracing the digital domain, the ability to operate in environments where there is the surveillance, and to do so surreptitiously. Cohen will oversee the implementation of the new changes, the CIA said. There are currently about a dozen existing mission centers of the CIA whose organizational structures was significantly revised in 2015 by former Director John Brennan. Two of them, the Iran and North Korea mission centers, both established more recently by former Director Mike Pompeo, will be reabsorbed into regional centers focused on the Middle East and East Asia. Burns has said he's not trying to reinvent the wheel in his reorganization, rather to make smart adjustments based fundamentally on the Brennan-era framework. In unveiling the changes, Burns said the CIA will continue to focus sharply on other threats, including Russia, North Korea, and Iran, as well as combating terrorism. A source similar to his thinking said the China Mission Center is by design now the only single country mission center at the agency, highlighting its central importance to the CIA's work. John Brennan designed the organization of CIA to be adaptable to plug-and-play mission centers based on substantive needs, Morrell said. Burns is doing exactly that, putting the focus on the key issues of the day, which have changed over the last 10 years. So this article is, again, about the CIA creates new mission centers focused on China and technology. A little bit there. Let's go right on. We got 3 more articles to read from here before closing out the stream for the day. Let's go. All right, so this article here, a little bit more fun and silly, but also serious within the technology sector still yet. Vanilla flavoring from lettuce, Israeli's food tech's next big things. Hidden Israeli Israel's periphery start is a startup incubator investing in tomorrow's food revolutions. So I don't know what this is. It looks like kind of looks like, I don't know, it's like something a squid and like an ice cube. Oh, it's not gonna let me read this. Oh, come on, can we find it somewhere else? Let's see, try and find it somewhere else. Nope, it's gonna bring me back over here. Oh, here we go. Let's go out to I was able to find it somehow. There we go. Sorry about that. This is a very slow site. First Start is in your everyday startup incubator. The 2-year-old project invests in food industry startups, and because it is located in Israel's periphery, right next to the Lebanese border, the state's share of the funding and effectively of the risk is higher than in most other incubators. We're interested in everything in the food tech field, says Dr. Tammy Miron, the incubator technology officer. Miron, who also has a doctorate in biochemistry and food scientist, is from the Hebrew University, is a major figure in Israel's food tech, has been involved in dozens of startups, food substitutes, obviously, along with all their verticals, waste reduction, packaging, reducing garbage, which is done in part by extending shelf life and new materials, the entire spectrum from a food supplies chain to individually adjusted nutrition. Out of every dollar invested in the incubator, 85 cents will come from the government and the remainder from the bidding consortium. Under the terms of the license, that at least 100 million shekels, $31 million, will be invested in companies selected by the incubator during its 8-year operation. We've already made 5 investments and we can talk about 3 of them, says the incubator CEO, Ron Barak. The basic founding is 3 million to 3.5 million shekels per company, but with 2 companies, we've already put in extra money beyond the floor set by state subsidiaries. Fresh Start's first investment made in June 2020 was in Blue Tree, a juice company. 50% of all juices in the world are orange juice, says Yuval Klein, the company's founder and CEO. This is a market with a turnover of $17 billion a year. Klein isn't a typical food tech entrepreneur. In the distant past, he was one of the founders of the Third Ear, a legendary chain of Israeli record and music shops, but now his heart belongs to oranges. He talks about them with great enthusiasm and reveals a secret. Any Israeli orange juice that claims to be 100% natural, fresh squeezed, and almost every brand is likely to be imported from concentrate. Few oranges are still grown in Israel. So it became as a family joke. A family joke now is a multi-million-dollar startup. Prescription Magic. What is this? Wants to make it. Prescription Magic Mushrooms. Israeli startup wants to make it happen. Israeli high-tech publishes manifesto outlining a new national plan for Israel. The fact that juice is usually sold from concentrate isn't the problem, it's the sugar. Orange juice is almost 10% sugar, Klein says. By comparison, cola is 10.6%. Today, the world wants 2 things in food: for it to be tasty and for it to be healthy, in that order of importance. Blue Tree developed a way to reduce the sweetness of orange juice, and it captures the sucrose via a method that can be integrated into the juice's production line, enabling the production of juices with varying sugar levels, 10, 20, or 30% less sugar. He adds, "We believe that through a process that will take a good many years, every juice in the world will have less sugar. We're still running taste tests, but I can already tell you that most people prefer it less sweet," Klein says. We were recently at an event that handed out low sugar juice. It was hot and people were dying for it, because when you reduce the sweetness, the acidity becomes more dominant and the juice tastes fresher, as if the orange had just been picked. Blue Tree is a riding trend toward healthier food and changing taste, but it also but it is also being helped by regulation. There are taxes on sugar all over the world that can reach 25% of the cost of raw material, Klein says. Another advantage is that when you reduce the sugar level, the raw material shrinks by 40% compared to its current size, and that creates an economic advantage of the supply chain. Blue Tree's process creates orange sugar as a byproduct, but Klein admitted that he has no idea what it could be used for. Blue Tree received an investment of $1 million from Fresh Start and has recently signed a commercial contract for a pilot with the Israeli juice company Perniv. In April, we'll start the installation, and in September 2022, fresh squeezed orange juice, natural orange juice, that also has reduced sugar will be marketed for the first time in Israel and abroad, Klein says. The company has also a contract with a Brazilian firm to produce tens of millions of liters of juice that will take effect only in 2024. Blue Tree employs 4 people. Klein is also a personal success story for the incubator because he moved to Kiryat Shimona. Nevertheless, he still divides his time between Galilee and his second apartment in Jaffa. Pigmentum, vanilla flavoring from an unexpected source. Another entrepreneur, Tal Lutsky, was born into agriculture. He grew up on kibbutz Sadat Yam, complete with a weekly workday, then customary in kibbutz schools and seasonal work in the avocado groves. After the army, it was almost natural for him to find himself at the Hebrew University School of Agriculture in Behovit. By the end of my bachelor degree, we had already approached one of the faculty, Professor Alexander Weinstein, who later became our partner, with an idea we had developed through which we could write on plants with their own pigments. We thought the idea was intended for ornamental plant industry. That's how Pigmentum began. An idea for decorating leaves with the logo, a name, greetings, and the like. Lutsky's partner in the venture was his classmate Galilee native Amir Taroller. They developed the idea for the startup at Asper Huji Innovate, Hebrews University's Entrepreneur Center. So I want to hear about where it says. All right, so we realized the traits we had developed could be used in various ways in the food, pharma, and cosmetics industries. Pigmentum was found to serve as a platform producing natural ingredients in a variety of plants and for a variety of industries. The company developed as an activating substance that can be introduced into a plant through spraying or irrigation and causes the plant to kill itself. In Lutsky's words, to produce a specified natural compound that affects the plant's characteristics. For example, one could ask lettuce to be red. As the name indicates, that's exactly what the company is doing right now. Our first product is a pigment, but further down the line, there will be also flavor and scent additives, Lutsky said. So they're adding pigments to change the pigments of plants. All right, and they want to do scents to scentivize and flavorize lettuce, it seems like. Miron explains that currently to produce natural food colorings, growers raise purple cabbage or black carrots and crush them to extract the pigment. This is an expensive, inefficient, and unsustainable process, she says. Pigmentum has a technology that can express any ingredient in the plant whenever they choose, and then in the entire plant, including the roots. For instance, it's possible to grow tomatoes and then after harvesting them, turn the stalks and roots into pigment. At this stage, we're moving ahead on 2 plants, tobacco and lettuce. Lutsky said both are leafy with short growing cycles and easy to grow, including enclosed systems near the production factory so the product can be controlled closely. Lutsky says the market for flavors and scent additives is estimated at $32 billion a year, and of this, around $8 billion consists of natural additives such as pigmentum, which is Pigmentum's field. And the natural segment is growing all the time because mainly because the synthetic additives aren't healthy, he adds. So there's some slaughter-free profuse, real meat. So there's a handful of different technologies they're talking about that are coming out of Israel. This one's something to do with the beef market, it seems here. I was more interested in what the article was saying. Israeli vanilla flavoring from lettuce. But it was a long, kind of drawn-out article. Not the best, but interesting nonetheless. Well, I will say that, right? So I got 2 more articles here for the day to read from before closing out the stream for the day here. All right, so this is from Grace O'Donnell from Yahoo Finance, assistant editor. Cannabis is a huge opportunity for long-term investors, Ross Gerber says. So here's a little bit of some finance news to close out the stream with this and one other article I found interesting here. The consolidation of cannabis stocks since their February highs presents a lot of potential for long-term marijuana investors holding fast, according to one investment advisor. For investors who are looking at the long-term game, this is a huge opportunity because the players in cannabis have only gotten stronger over the last year. Ross Gerber, president of CEO of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management, said on Yahoo Finance Live, "The numbers that I've looked at for the quarter and the most recent quarter have been amazing," he said, or he added. And they're very well run companies that are now trading at multiples that look very reasonable for the short and long-term growth rates. Over the last year, Gerber noted, Kawasaki is up substantially on cannabis despite giving back half those gains in the last year. I'm very close to pulling the trigger and adding to these positions right now aggressively, he asserted. Gerber also disputed the notion that growth in the U.S. weed market could slow, even as some Canadian cannabis companies struggle with profitability. There is no slowdown in cannabis, Gerber said, and in fact, I would argue the opposite. The new products that are coming out from drinks, and some of the new edibles. But really, in the drink side of the cannabis business, this stuff is booming. We're seeing cannabis lounges now being approved all over, one in Vegas, for example. And he estimated that the U.S. cannabis market is between $70 billion and $100 billion, and we just scratched the surface. So the biggest cannabis companies by market cap on publicly listed U.S. left in Canada is the right. We got Curaleaf, Green Thumb Industries, True Leaf Cannabis, Cara, WM Technology, 22, and that's in the U.S. In Canada, we got ORG, Sundial Growers, Canopy Growth, Kronos Group, and Aurora Cannabis. Canopy Growth and Aurora I definitely know of as well. So cannabis companies are home run. Some Canadian cannabis companies like Canopy Growth, CGC, have deals in place to enter the larger U.S. market once the sale of weed is legal at the federal level and once federal legislation relaxes restrictions on banking and taxation. These are home runs. Gerber said the mix of the North American companies. However, Gerber did point to one reservation that could hamper cannabis stocks: delayed marijuana legislation. Currently, cannabis is legal on a recreational level in 18 states, allowed in varying medicinal capacities in 29 other states. It's considered illegal in Idaho, Nebraska, and Kansas. I do think that the biggest issue in legislation is the fact that Democrats really can't get anything done. He said they're finally proving inept, disorganized, and basically stupid at this point. I feel like they're debauching things like cannabis, which is just a home run. That said, Gerber noted that he expects some legislative movement in the next year to either lift the federal prohibition on marijuana or loosen some of the banking restrictions on cannabis companies, which will catalyze the next leg up in the cannabis market. So Grace is an assistant editor for Yahoo Finance and UX writer for Yahoo Products. So that's a little bit on here. Cannabis is a huge opportunity for long-term investors, Ross Gerber says. Let's get this last article up here and close out this stream for the day. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to blockchain tech and finance news as I get this last article up here. And again, chat in the chats. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will respond sometimes during stream, or I will answer on the recaps. From where can you learn about blockchain? You're in crypto, earning a little bit. Sahalam 847. You can learn just by watching here. If you're looking for blockchain related courses where you want to learn programming and education, check out my YouTube channel on the YouTube side. If you can go up there, you can subscribe, turn the bell notifications. And I talk about blockchain, I talk about crypto, and I talk about certain projects and also educational courses in programming. So right in the description box below, I even have on the YouTube side a education course in blockchain where you can learn about smart contracts and learn everything about blockchain technology and also JavaScript and programming languages like that. All right, so I'm gonna grab up this last article like that. But yeah, chat with me in the chats and I will answer at best I can. I don't provide financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so you have to do your own research, most definitely, like that. All right, so this is last article here. The price of Red Bull, other energy drinks may be about to skyrocket. This is from Brian Sawsey, anchor editor at large. Ingesting 300 milligrams of caffeine before 6 a.m. in one shot may be about to get much costlier, and you could blame inflammation on aluminum and energy drink leader Red Bull. A price increase would be preferable and meaningfully favorable for trading in Monster shares, but we believe Monster remains committed to following Red Bull as we ascribe a slightly greater than 50-50 likelihood that Red Bull takes price with an announcement needed before year end. And Stifel analyst Mark Astrachan, in a new research note on Thursday, Astrachan thinks that it's logical that Red Bull takes a price increase given the elevated inflationary environment, which would open the door to Monster Beverage and likely other players in the space jacking up prices. Let me make sure I got everything working here. Yes, everything's working here. Cool, great, awesome. All right, explains Astrachan. We also cannot think of a good reason why Red Bull will not price given rising cost pressures, especially aluminum, the largest component of the cost of goods sold, is up 50% year over year and 10% since 2021. Since Q2 of 2021 results in early August. We also think Red Bull's overall U.S. operating margin is likely below that of Monster, as it self-distributes approximately 60% of its U.S. volumes, making it more sensitive to inflation. Additionally, most other large non-alcoholic beverage companies have raised prices. To be sure, energy drink makers are likely feeling the squeeze on their margins. Aluminum prices, obviously used in the production of cans that houses highly potent energy drinks, has shot up by 40% this year, due mostly to demand in industrial applications. Another key raw material used in energy drink production, sugar, has seen prices rise 33% on the year. Factor in surging oil and gas prices weighing on transportation costs. It's clear energy drink makers must follow other food producers by lifting prices to protect profits. The PepsiCo vice chairman and CFO Hugh Johnson told Yahoo Finance Live this week the company has raised prices with no hit to consumer demand. Stifel's Astrachan thinks any price increase by Monster would be bullish for its stock. We think Red Bull announcing a price increase would be meaningfully positive for Monster shares, as pricing could contribute about half of current 2022 consensus sales growth, 10%, and also lift gross margins through 2022. Conversely, we think no pricing could remain an overhang on Monster shares pending a reduction in aluminum prices, if any, Astrachan says. The analyst rates Monster shares at a buy with a $107 target price. Shares of Monster are down 1% to $91 on the year, compared to 16% gain for the S&P 500. So there's a little bit there on the price of Red Bull. Other stock energy drinks may be about to skyrocket. All right, that's all I have for the news today. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on bell notifications here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for chatting. Leave your comments below if you didn't catch on the live stream. And this is, again, playing on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, DLive TV, Trovo Live, and a handful of other platforms, as well as Twitter now as well. All right, have a great and kind, safe day. Stay well, stay safe. Cheers. God bless your kind hearts. Peace be with you. Have a great and safe weekend.